Oh man, I typed out a whole thing about this, but it got deleted like right before I was done. But when I worked at Millionaire, the private jet center here in Pebble, I had mentioned before that Donald Trump was actually one of the VIPs we took care of. Now, I actually was never on the clock when he was when he himself actually arrived or departed, but his jet was here for a good week during the Pebble Beach golf tournament. This is 2008, 2009, and he one of the rare guys that he has a 727, so it was actually an old passenger jet converted to a private jet. And unless they're doing a quick turn, which is where they basically just come in for services and fuel, if they're staying overnight, you have full access to the jet. You can actually even move the jet on your own, towing it and put it into certain spots, so that when they leave, the pilots get handled as well. It's not just the person on the jet. You actually tailor just as much to the pilots, who tend to be clients of the client, and they bark your orders to you, and then you do what they say. And if they give you a nice tip, well, we'll put you on the front row, which means they basically get to take off quicker. But anyways, the reason to bring this up, and I'm not just talking shit, was Trump, the inside of Trump's jet. Now, you got to keep in mind, one of the things that goes on with these guys in their private jets is it definitely tends to be a reflection of who they are as individuals. I won't even put them on blast and say it's all ego. But I'll give you a perfect example, a cool example, but it's a general example. Mark Cuban, owner of the Sacramento Kings, cool inside of his jet. Now, when you get onto it, it's like a club, getting onto a club where you have a velvet rope before you can get onto the jet, and you go inside the jet, and it's like a casino inside the jet. This is like commonplace. It's the way, I guess, the jet guys do it. Because it seconds as an office, not just a flying office. But we would have cats, like Rupert Murdoch would be on the ground for a week in Pebble, and we would wave people through the gate to have business meetings on the jet. They were never going to fly or take off. They would just go and have meetings on the jet. In fact, Rupert Murdoch's jet, and again, Rupert Murdoch, hey, I know Rupert, he never came across to me as being like that, like he's seen, a crazy, mad, right-wing nut. No, his jet was pretty basic. He had a waiting room on the jet. He has a 737 that he modified with a ramp because it would have had to have stairs rolled up to it. It's a pretty cool thing. It's like a very nice house in a very upper-class neighborhood on the inside. Has a giant screen that shows you the world where the jet is exactly, on the planet, and big den area. And in fact, his main assistant, she was a real bitch for a long time, but I always had to help her. We kissed ass, you kissed ass with her, and eventually she just told us, like, I have to be a bitch on purpose. You guys do a really good job. It was funny. We actually bonded with her, and we would hang out on the jet sometimes. But he has a waiting room on the jet, 737. Once his wife was sick, and he wasn't due to depart for a few more days. Rupert Murdoch, real quick, and he had to take off to go to the East Coast. Dude, $60,000 fuel order I got from him. Most guys, credit card at least, right, or have it on credit. He paid all of it up front, and from what I heard, in cash. I'm like, no way. Like, yeah, $60,000. I mean, I had to fill both wings. 2 fuel trucks a total. That's a lot of money. 2 fuel trucks get us through we had to fuel the main American Airlines and America West jets down to the other terminal. That was part of our job. But anyways, Rupert Murdoch never came off as being the guy that you hear about on TV. He was not like that at all. He kept us cool. He was a nice, good guy. You almost got the vibe, hey, he just does those things on Fox TV to make the money. Like, he's not really who you think he is via that, I never met Trump, but the inside of his jet, everyone talked about it. I'm not making this up just because he's running for president. It was creepy. It was creepy, and everyone thought this. And it was like Twilight Zone meets, like, old Rome statues of, like, Apollo. You know what I mean? I'm serious. He has statues, full real statues inside throughout the jet. 727. And it wasn't like, oh, wow, his style's kind of crazy, or this is like what he's doing in his jet. You did get the vibe of, like, is this guy like a reincarnated, like, Saxon or fancy lad from the freaking 1600s England? Like, he's wearing a wig, and wearing makeup like those old guys in England would. I'm serious. You really got that vibe. It was like the scene in JFK with Kevin Bacon. They show them, like, the homosexual prostitutes. They're all doing coke, and they're, like, all dressed up in Victorian role-playing outfits. That is totally the vibe you got on this jet. It wasn't like, oh, this style isn't very cool. It was like, dude, who does this guy think he is? Dude, this is weird. Everyone thought the same thing. And when I see him on TV, it takes me back to that place. Like, dude, he's weird. Like, I don't see him like some people see him. I see him as like, I would think he's gay. Just honestly, I don't know why I would say that, but maybe it's because of the JFK scene. But he comes off as, little sugar in the bud, He talks like a Jewish lady. You guys never noticed that? He talks like an old Jewish grandmother. I don't know what to say, you guys. I give money to... You guys don't pick up on that, dude. He's a little fruit in the boot. I'm telling you, I have no problem with that. But he's not the, like, mafia don that some people have him portrayed as. The thug of change. No, dude, you should see his jet, dude. You should see his jet. And, like, get a couple rednecks on there. Like, I don't like this. I feel dirty. I'm telling you, man, that's how it is on there. Anyways, I told you I'd testify on that. We used to have to sign confidentiality agreements. That's long gone. But yeah, very, very weird interior jet. And it's funny that he's running for president now. Why? Because we saw a lot of jets, man. His stood out as what? This dude's